You know when you have your hair up for a while, you let it down, and like you feel the follicles like going in a different direction than they have been in for like hours. Good afternoon. I thought that I would give you guys a little bit of an update on some of the stuff that's been happening recently here. I think in one of my painting videos, the one where I was outside, I had given you guys the update on the HSK. I had said that I took the HSK, that I got my, I think I told you I got my test score. I don't remember, but I got the score, and it was high enough to pass at the test maker's recommendation, at like Hanban's recommendation for the HSK 6, but my school's recommendation is higher, that like their accepted score is higher. So I, was wondering if, considering all the circumstances, if they were just gonna like accept the test maker's score. And I was talking to my advisors, they're like, yeah, we think so, it's fine, don't worry about it, whatever. That was 2 months ago. And so, my classmates and I were like, well, I guess, we're not going to be able to take the test this semester. We're just, maybe they're going to extend the window or, whatever, because there was never any mention of being able to offer the test online. This is something that obviously, like, no one has ever had to be in these circumstances before, so we don't, like, no one knows what's going on. There was never any mention of having to take the test again, and we're all supposed to graduate in June. So that's why they're like, yeah, we're probably gonna, accept the, just the recommended score, and you don't have to worry about it, whatever. So all along for 2 months now, I haven't really been keeping up with my studying because I kind of figured I was done. Until a few days ago, when they suddenly, like the international department suddenly sent out a link that was an article put out by like Hanban about the HSK or something, that they were going to be offering it online in like less than a month, like maybe 2.5 weeks after they had announced it. So they're like, sorry if you haven't been studying, we decided to offer it, so hope you're gonna do okay, good luck. No one ever thought that they were just gonna be like, oh, just kidding, take it in 2 weeks, you're fine. So it's kind of like a weird situation for a lot of us, the foreign students, because, one, like I said, we weren't expecting it. Two, we've been out of China for 6 months, which is crazy how the time has flown, like when I think about it, like how all this like coronavirus stuff was just starting, and it was just like a whisper of like a couple people were sick in China, like, whatever, and it wasn't like a big thing, and now it's like taken over everything. So, when I think about like how this time has just gone, I'm like, it's crazy. But yeah, we've been away for 6 months, so, we haven't been speaking, with native speakers. We haven't been in like the immersion type setting, and it's really hard. This is like a really hard thing to do on your own. I was at first kind of like bummed about my score that I got, but then I was like, you know what, just because my school wants a higher grade, I still passed the test. It's like saying like, you got a B, sorry, like you needed an A to get, this extra thing or whatever, and it's like, well, I got a B, like I did okay, kind of thing. It feels like that kind of a situation. So, and I've been kind of in contact with the dean of the international department, who I kind of know outside of school. I've known her for actually longer than I lived in China, just because she has connections with my professor here that got me the whole opportunity going and all that stuff. And I was like, talking to her about some of my concerns between my apartment. She said that she would have someone check on it, and that she's like, I don't think anyone's been in there. They shouldn't have been. She's like, I have the key. I'll go and check and make sure everything's okay. Make sure everything's okay with your water, your electricity, all that stuff. And I like get sick when I think about all of the food and stuff that has to get like thrown out, and all this stuff that's gonna have to happen, when I finally go back to get my stuff, because, obviously no one was planning on everyone being away for more than, the month break or whatever it is. And as it stands now, I can't go back, until, indefinitely. So, thinking about that, and she's like, you know, you can't come back for graduation. None of the foreign students are going to come back. We're going to invite you back June of 2021 just to do the ceremony and to take your pictures and stuff and do all that stuff. So if you want to come back for that, you can, you know, but I'm going to have to go in the meantime sometime to get my stuff anyway. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. Granted, I don't think it can wait another year with my apartment just sitting there empty. I don't know. It's a bummer. I'm feeling like a lot of those things that, you know, granted, knock on wood, everyone's safe, everyone's healthy in my family, in my like close circle of friends, everyone's okay, and those are the things that matter. But you know, I think you're still allowed to kind of like mourn the things that you put on hold or the things that kind of got really thrown out of whack. And you know, I worked 4 years towards this graduation, and like the chance to, and obviously it's much more than just taking pictures or like, you know, whatever, but it's like, it's part of the experience, you know, with my friend that did it with me. And I miss a lot of things about being in China and like my life there and my independence that I had there. And I, you know, am like mourning that kind of a thing. You're allowed to. I just, you know, if anyone's feeling guilty about like, you know, don't keep telling yourself, well, it could be worse. Yeah, it could be worse, but it could be better. Like, you know, things are sad. You know, you don't have to just be sad if someone's sick or just be sad if, you know, something worse has happened. You're allowed to be sad for like the more material things or just the experiences that you're missing out on. And, you know, I'm kind of like feeling that. But yeah, so bottom line, they're offering the test again. And I am kind of like really thrown for a loop. And kind of like in conjunction with that, not knowing that I was going to have to take the test again and that I was going to have to do the really intense like studying again, I took on a bunch of commissions, which is wonderful. I'm so glad. Some of them came through YouTube. Some of them were, you know, people that I knew. And it's like, it's such a cool thing. And I love it. And I am so happy that I get to do it. You know, it's just, I want to give all of those commissions and people that are giving me their money the due time that they deserve. And I said to my friend yesterday, I kind of feel like I went from like leisurely working on everything and like getting things done at my own pace and like, you know, creatively doing these things to like in the matter of a day when all this stuff was announced, suddenly I've like spread myself very thin. So I've got, I had, I think 4 commissions that I was working on kind of at that time, like when all this stuff was going on. One of them I finished, handed off, you know, it's like that door is closed, but I've got one smaller one, 2 kind of like larger ones that I'm working on that, you know, are taking more time and taking more effort. And I want, you know, like I said, especially when it's people's money and just their like faith in me involved, I don't want to have anyone feel like I'm not putting the time in or like I just, you know, I don't know. So I'm feeling a lot of that like weird pressure. But yeah, you know, you do what you can. That's kind of just anyone, like that's all anyone can do right now is just kind of do what you're able and manage it as well as you can. I'm going to try and finish one of the commissions, a small one today. And then, you know, maybe later tonight I'm going to work on one of the bigger ones. And I'm like, so, you know, so many people like that give me the commissions, they don't give me a time frame. They're like, oh, you know, whenever you have a chance, no rush, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I still want to do it in a timely manner and I don't want it to like sit or, you know, and I don't know. You know what I mean? Is this making sense? I'm sorry. I'm just like rambling. Yeah. So I'm going to work on a commission today. Yeah. I hope you guys are doing okay. I'm just, you know, wrapped up in my own bubble and I don't ever want it to seem like I'm just, you know, like that's all that matters. You know, it's just as you talk about these things, you tend to talk about them as they relate to you. You know, got these commissions I'm working on, studying Patreon stuff, just trying to stay organized and on top of everything and not drown in the meantime, you know? Oh my god, you guys. So I was out here looking, can you see that little snake right there is part of his little back? Anyway, I was out here watching the snake And for a while now, for a couple weeks, I've been monitoring this mantis, like this little praying mantis nest. And today, just now, I noticed that there's little stuff coming out the vents. I'm like, oh my God, I bet they hatched. Look, can you, oh my God, can you see them? Oh my God, there's a couple of them that I've found so far. There's one there. They're so little. Oh my God. Just a reminder that like not everything is awful all the time. My little baby's hatched. Oh my God, I'm so excited. There's one up there. So it's the next day, and once again I was watching the snakes and I was looking for a little mantids, and I looked up and more are coming out of the same egg sac. Oh my God. So I don't even know where to start with what I want to tell you right now, because I don't know, I can't remember over the past couple weeks what I've said. So out of nowhere, we got a message earlier this month that the Hanban, you know, whoever offers the HSK, decided to do an online test. It seemed all the test centers were offering the test from May 27th to the 31st. Today's the 30th. And today was the deadline to sign up for the place that I had initially taken the test at. They were offering the online test June 5th. So they said on the receipt, it said Sunday, June 5th. So I messaged them, I was like, hey, you know, it says this date, but June 5th is a Friday. So is it like the 5th? Is it the 7th? Is it, you know, when is it? And then I didn't hear anything. That was a couple days ago. And I've been checking my email, and I just got an email that's like, oh, actually, due to unforeseen circumstances, the test has been canceled. So the test that I was supposed to take next week has been canceled for whatever reason. All the other test locations, even if they're offering the test tomorrow, you know, by chance or whatever, the deadline was a week ago. So I'm like, because I had talked to the dean of the international department. She's like, yeah, just take the test again, send us your best score, and we'll see, you know, what happens. See if we know that it's crazy circumstances. We know that like people aren't studying as they're supposed to be, or supposed to be, you know, in like a normal circumstance. Like, you know, people are worried about what's going on like in their own lives, and this is kind of not at the top of everyone's consciousness right now to be like worried about this test. So I have been like studying the past couple weeks. I'm like, no, I just gotta do it. I just gotta, you know, whatever, it's fine. I've been reading every day, and I've been watching Chinese TV and like reading subtitles and doing all this stuff. And now for what? Like, why? So that happened. And I guess now I have to message the international dean and be like, a decision has to be made, because I can't take the test again, and the score that I got was what we're gonna get. That's the highest score. So I'll let you guys know when I find out. But in the meantime, yeah, I've been working on other stuff. Well, I was working on commissions before they announced that this test had to be, you know, taken again. So I was doing that stuff, but I've been keeping up with Patreon stuff. I think I showed you guys, I made, this is like such a cute, I love this card. So this is gonna go out at the beginning of next month. But I'm like obsessed with the gold leaf. I just really like how that looks. So yeah, expect some kind of gold or silver if you guys get cards for the next, you know, round. So there's that. It's hot. Can you tell? Like, it's humid and gross. Can you tell that it's just about summer? Yeah, so that happened. You guys will know when I know, because I don't know.